The Chapter 5 map is filled with lots and lots of goodies, but there's a lot of draw spots that people don't know about. And there's some strategies in here that you probably want to be using going into the Solo Victory Cup this season. Starting off with the windmill POI that you can find over towards the top right hand side of the map. Now this draw spot features a total of 15 slurp barrels, which is obviously very good in solo victory cups when you're looking at looting splits and trying to find as much healing as possible. On the south side there is 11 chests in total, and on the north side there is 9 chests with a total of 41 floor spawns. Now it's important to realize that this draw spot is split into 2 different sides, and you'll probably approach this going into a game that you have one guy landing to the north and one guy land to the south. And the name of the game is speed here. You want to be able to loot the chest as fast as possible around this side in order to catch up towards the top parts of these windmills, because if you're too slow, then the other player towards the north side are going to be looting all that stuff. The south side features more chests obviously, and therefore it takes a little bit longer to loot as the chests are more spread out. So you want to be able to loot everything on this side. Now the loot on the windmills, there's loot at the top and at the bottom, but you want to be focused on the top side more often than not. On the south side, there's also a slurp truck you can get for insta shoot alongside a bunch of bells, and the loot again is segmented from the bottom part with a lot of chests, and then the top part with a lot of chests as well. And the final part is that this spot is actually pretty good because it has basically infinite metal. This whole area is made out of metal with the slurp barrels as well that you're going to be farming. You get metal, and you have instant access with a zip line to rotate you out of this draw spot and away from danger going into the late game. Now Lavish Layer is going to be one of those spots this season where we're probably going to get the most victory royales coming out of every single pro player, especially considering the mech strategy. That auto shotgun, that god medallion as well, is going to get you the most out of anything, because you want to be carrying one gun now in the solo victory cup, at least in the finals. Now most of the players are going to land at the top side, and you can actually hurdle through these windows very quickly to loot the entirety of this building. Now the draw spot boasts a very impressive 115 floor spawns with 26 chests spread out across this massive POI. But there's one issue, is that there's actually not that much metal here. You can only get metal on this northern gate of the map, but that doesn't really matter when you have this NPC that's going to drop you all the good loot. Now if you're scared of confrontation, you can land to the house to the west and get yourself extra chests there. I believe there's 2 chests in this drop spot and a bunch of floor spawns. You can get your loot, and you can instantly try to fight the third party that bot fight, because if you're fighting the boss at this POI, it's gonna get hectic. All the NPCs are gonna spawn, you're gonna be distracted. So a player sneaking up from behind, they can easily come up third party while another player is fighting the boss, and then you can come in third party, eliminate the player, get the shotgun, get that medallion, and then get the hell out. And all of a sudden, now you are fully equipped to get out and have the best loot in the game as a solo. Now you get the auto shotgun, which is a mythic weapon, and of course that medallion like I previously mentioned, which heals for 3 shield a second. Also, after that, with the medallion, you can go straight into the vault. There's 3 chests in there, and more importantly, the ability to customize your weapons, which is going to get you the best loadout possible. If you're trying to get a vault but not be too contested, then the north vault on the map is probably the best place you can land. Now this draw spot boasts a total of 13 chests in total with 23 spore spawns, and then obviously the guaranteed vault as well. It's all the way towards the north side of the map, so it's on the edge, which is obviously going to be a lot less contested because it's all far away from most of those medallion drop spots. Now the actual drop spot itself has a bunch of different buildings, and the strategy here if you're contested is going to be a little bit awkward, but you're probably going to try to land towards that right house where essentially is most of the barrels. But this drop spot is just all about the best drop. There's many barrels you can farm for instant shield, and if you are fully uncontested, all of the chests are within very quick looting reach, and you can instantly go eliminate the bot in the middle of the drop spot and then get towards that vault. Now within the vault there's 3 chests in total with I believe 1 mythic guaranteed chest. So essentially that is guaranteed loot every single game, which is going to be shield and everything on top of that. And the most nice part in this is obviously those ammo boxes and the gold, of course, because augments are going to make a comeback this season, and having to reroll augments is going to be such a vital strategy going into solo victory cups that you could get a cheap vault and essentially be one of the strongest players on the map without a medallion. Alongside that, good metal all across the map, and a nice dead side position, and you've got yourself a great draw spot for the season. Now, a good solo draw spot requires you to be able to loot other parts of the map, and the windmill, as a Dutchman myself, is probably one of those spots where I can't not mention in this situation. Now, this spot has a total of 4 barrels in total with 11 floor spawns and 7 chests across. With all the barrels at this draw spot, you're able to get up to full HP and get yourself in a position which basically sets yourself up for fighting. The best part about this draw spot is the amount of loot spots that are nearby this drop. Now, if you look at here, there's a house to your east that you can third party and run up to, which has a lot of chests, and that is probably going to be the most contested spot on this side of the map. To your north, there's a gas station, and then to your west, there's also a bridge which boasts another 2 chests that you can find as well. Now, if you want to land this draw spot, you have to be a little bit more aggressive, but you can also just third party and be super aware of where you want to land, and then just avoid other players. And that is the name of the game here. You need to be aware. You need to look when you're gliding at where other teams are landing, because that is where you're going to loot afterwards. If you don't look, then you might run into a player at a gas station or at other draw spots if you're not planning on fighting, and then you have a bit of a problem if you're not that good at fighting and scared of other people. Just like IRL. The amount of loot at this draw spot is scary, and that's not just because it's a cemetery. The loot here is insane. At the cemetery, there's a total of 12 chests in this confined area with 24 floor spawns and 5 barrels in total. And that means basically every single game you get a 50 shield head start straight off the board. With the amount of loot that it has, you should be a little bit careful of being contested. Now, when you are contested, you do actually want to land at the top of this clock tower, not like what I did here. You want to land at the top and start farming downwards, because there is a chest at the top you can instantly get and shoot at other players nearby. Towards the bottom side of this draw spot, there's also a bunch of chests. The best part of this is, of course, the amount of metal available, because metal is scarce every single time in solos, and being able to get up to 500 metal at the start of the match is one of the most crucial things to surviving into the late game, because more than likely you're not going to be able to farm metal further into the game. This draw spot definitely has the loot that you need, and it's in a nice central position, which puts you in a great spot to do well in a solo victory cup. Now, this super duper secret spot isn't that super duper secret anymore, and you should probably know about it already, the cave. Now, this cave has a total of 15 barrels in total to get yourself up to full shield. It has 11 total chest spawns and then 12 floor spawns. Now, what you can do is you can land at this spot, which is probably going to be incredibly over contested and probably going to have a lot of people here, or you can do something a little bit different, and that's what I'm probably going to be doing in these solo victory cups. So what you want to do now is you want to land towards the top of the mountain. Now, this has 4 chest spawns, a bunch of loot, a bunch of floor spawns, and the most important part is there's also shield barrels that you can farm. There's 3 shield barrels to the top here, and at the bottom there's an entire room full of shield barrels that you can use to get up to full shield and then farm out your mats. And what you can do after that is wait on top of the mountain, wait for unsuspecting people to come out of the toilet or to come up the mountain, and then eliminate them for all of their loot, because it's a very tough position to be aware in. Now, I'm a man that loves a good split, and this is one of those that allows you to be aggressive but also a lot more passive if that's your playstyle. It's the train station right to the south of those farm locations. Now, towards the south side, there's going to be a house and a bunch of houses where everyone's going to be landing at, but you're not going to be landing there. You're going to be landing towards the north, right by the train tracks. And the reason why is because it has a decent amount of chests. I believe it has 3 chests in this house that you can instantly farm out. You can get yourself towards the vending machine as well, and that vending machine is going to be able to give you a big pot if you get lucky with some gold, and then you can instantly try to third party that south side. Now, if you're not an aggressive player, that you don't have to third party south side, because there's more loot for you available all the way to the north. Now, going to the north, there's going to be a bunch of little shacks, and in these shacks are going to be chests, and more importantly, more shield barrels. There's going to be so much shield on this split drop. Now, there's about 5 or 6 different chests you're going to be running across towards the south of the farms, and in every single one of these shacks there's going to be at least 1 chest, and of course then the shield barrels if you ever get tagged. You can use the zip line to get across. You can keep looting, run around with those berries as well. There's a bunch of berries you can pick up for faster rotates and faster movement, and you can also save them going into the late game, because obviously bells are going to be some of the best rotates in solo victory cups this season. After you're done looting, what you can now do if you're an aggressive player is you can run over towards fencing fields, you can pop a berry, and you can go straight towards that bot. Now, As Fencing Field is probably one of the best drop spots in the map, there's going to be a lot of people landing there, and there's going to be a lot of chaos. And when someone starts to fight that bot, that's when you're going to swoop in, sneaking up and trying to third party the person and shooting the player that's fighting the bot. After you eliminate them, you take the weapon, you take the medallion, you get the hell out of there, and you play fully for late game. And then all of a sudden, you've got one of the best drop spots in the map. Now at this point, how many times have I said the word barrel? Because at this spot, we're going to say it a bunch more. Now this spot is going to be right near the yacht POI drop spot, and you're going to be able to loot with full shield instantly. Now at the clock tower, there's going to be a bunch of barrels that you can land at, and you can instantly farm down to get full shield. And that is the strategy. You farm all the way down, get all of those shields, and then you're going to be able to loot the entire house. Now inside of this confined space, there is a total of 6 chests in total and a total of 19 floor spawns. And after you're done looting this, you can have 2 choices that you can make now. You can go and third party the yacht and fight if you're feeling very aggressive, or you have to have a WQ game. Or what you can do is you can use the launch pad that is towards the west side of the yacht and use that to go straight towards the beach. Now the beach here is another potential drop spot that you could land at if you're super contested at the tower. And the reason why is because it actually has more than 1 chest than it shows on Fortnite GG. Fortnite GG only shows that it has 1 chest in total, but there's a bunch of buried chests here that you can use and pick up. There's 3 of them in total that are guaranteed spawns, I believe. Alongside that, you also have barrels that you can loot here to get you up to 50 shield extra as well. And if you want to run towards the north side, you can run all the way towards the bridge, get another 2 chests there in order to complete your loot path. So not a bad split. Now if you're a rat, you're going to want to land at this drop spot because you're going to do a bunch of third partying and you're going to ruin someone else's day in the solo victory cup, and that's the best thing ever, isn't it? Now at this landing spot, you have a total of 4 chests with a good amount of floor spawns. I believe there's about 13 floor spawns, but that is not the intention. You don't care that much about the loot as long as you get some shield and as long as you get a shotgun. You can get full shield from the coolers, but that's pretty much it. Now what you're gonna do now, there's a manhole that you can jump into, and this manhole is gonna teleport you all the way to Grand Glacier. And what you're gonna do at Grand Glacier is you're gonna wait. You're gonna wait for someone to come up and try to get the loot and try to get the vault, and you're gonna kill them and then ruin the day. Lovely. Now in a solo victory cup, you have to plan ahead, and this is one of those spots where planning ahead is perfect. And now this is a beach side property with a bunch of loot that you can farm out that is gonna get yourself well equipped for the late game. Now with 8 chests and 24 floor spawns, this spot is nuts because it also gives you cooler boxes and the ability to fish all around this draw spot. Now this draw spot is good because it's secluded, it's away from all the big POIs, and you're able to loot it within pretty much 30 seconds if you want to. But this is a drop spot that is probably going to be contested a lot. So one of the strategies you can do is inside of one of these huts, there is going to be full shield. You can instantly get 100 shield, get the chest afterwards, and you can run straight towards the dock, get that cooler box, get yourself extra loot, and then launch pad away towards that east side. And now at the east side, there's going to be a chest spawn at the plane, but more importantly, there's another house that's actually 1 chest on Fortnite GG, but it's actually 2 chests or more I've seen spawn at this spot, and you can basically run away, third party loot towards that east side, fish, get 2 more chests at the lake. You're pretty much stacked going into the end of a solo victory cup. Now with 11,500 people qualifying for EU, there's no excuse now with all of these draw spots not to make money.